This is like the ending of the Smoky Mountain 500 slash Hurricane Creek trip that I had. I started on Monday and I came back on a Friday. This is Saturday, and Saturday I'm going to go through my stuff and see what I used, what I didn't use, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. And this will kind of show me later that, you know, what am I doing for the next trip. Maybe help you guys too. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of like the end cap, epilogue of the trip. So in my yard, just gonna go through some stuff and see what happened, what did I use or not. So the truck did wonderful, better than expectations. Off-road was a monster. On-road it was like a VW bus with no sway bars. So kind of top heavy, kind of hard around corners. You got to drive it. Yeah, so let's walk around and see what I got. So thinking, you know, I would use this winch. You know, most of the time everybody mounts their winch and no one ever uses it. So in this case, I'm gonna pull off the cover because I need to make sure everything's wired up right anyway. This overkill of a winch, it's a super winch. 18,500 pound capacity, 24 volt. Yeah, the thing's all metal. It's from military surplus that I got it from a guy. And I was watching it on Marketplace forever, and I finally said just buy it, and the guy was great. So if you're out there, hey man, thanks again. This winch is really awesome. So I did use it in the middle of the night to pull a tree out of the way. We had about a 20-inch wide tree. It was dark. I got to use my electric chainsaw for the first time, and the tree was just it was just too big to move. So I cut it. I was able to use the winch and pull it out. Now I did this in the dark. I never used the winch before. I'd only turned it on maybe one other time. I knew what to do, so I had to, you know, get your mind prepared, just do your research and get her done. So the rope is massive. You know, it's got this giant shackle. It's hooked up on there. It's all stuck up in there. So anyway, it's pretty awesome. So I do not regret buying that, and hope I can use it again for some other things. I knew it wasn't really going to be for self-recovery, because I really don't want to get into a place where I have to use this to pull myself out. But if I did, I'd be pretty good. The only thing I think I'm going to do right now, I have cables that are hooked here and one at the battery that I just kind of plug in together outside the vehicle. I haven't had time to just sit there and wire it permanently, and I think I'll do that because it's definitely, or with at least with an adapter where I can plug it back in if I decide to take it off for just driving around. Okay, yeah, the dual horns, they worked out pretty well. I had to use them a couple times. 24 volt, loud, did well. The only real damage I can see is my snapped off my mirror. I think it rusted off. I don't know what's in there, but I gotta figure out how to fix that. Let me see if I can find the mirror in here. Ah, it is. Here it is, right here. So here it is. The mirror's fine. But yeah, kind of metal fatigue by snapping in half. I'll try to fix it, or see if anybody else has got a used one out there. That would be kind of cool. I'll put that out there. Passenger side, you know, lots of, you can see all the dirt scrapes. That's where the tree limbs, the dust coated this well. And now you'll see where a new car would simply cringe on this, where you can see where all the scrapings went along and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'll just go around the outside first to see. So with a car that gets poor gas mileage, I got 7 to 10 if I was lucky. Gas gauge is marginal at best. It holds 20 gallons. You know, I was running around 130 miles on this thing, or more or less. So anyway, it was pretty poor. So having an extra 5 gallons, which I did not use, thank goodness, in case I filled up pretty much anytime I had a opportunity to fill up, thinking I was going to go off on a longer trip. I just went and filled up, but I had the 5 just in case I needed it. Yeah, the liquid, the carbon dioxide from power tank, I didn't have to use. I ended up running, wow, I just pulled off my, oh, I just hit my roof rack on a tree. Well, that's not good. At least I found that. Must have just did that now, running to get over to this part of the yard. That's kind of funny. It makes it through everything except in my front yard. All right, I have to fix that. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't have to, I actually left my tires at 40 PSI for the entire trip. The biggest reason was it was easier to turn with higher PSI tires. This is all manual tires. I mean, manual steering. And the best option I've ever put on a vehicle, well, excuse me, on this vehicle, is this Knuckle Buster. I tell you what, this thing, this thing saved me. If I didn't have this, it would have been a lot of problem. I mean, a lot of turning. I was able to whip it around, get around potholes real quick when I'm driving. Now slow speeds is pretty much pointless. If you're going like, you know, turning around in a parking lot, you have to grip both hands and it's brutal. But most of the times, even when I was using this, my other hand was steadying it in case I had to grip it on the other side. So it worked out. So you can see, I'll back up, the tires like that. I can do a 180 or a little bit and the tire still looks like it's never moved. This thing is geared almost, I don't even know if it's like, if you're in the middle, it almost takes 3.5 to 4 to get to either side of the lock. It's a lot of turning because it's manual and they gear it down for you. So this mirror survived all right. The antenna, this antenna I put on, it did perfect. So it is a CB antenna, but I was also able to put, I got the adapter to run AM/FM radio through it. Let's see if I can find that. There it is. Here, up in there. Yeah, so that adapter goes straight to the antenna where you can run the CB and radio. They work perfect. I received the CB very well. Got this little cheap Chinese one. It runs 12 and 24 volt. I'm trying to keep it 24 volt. And got that Blaupunkt radio and also has Bluetooth. Did great. It just did what it should. I got these great little speakers off of Amazon for cheap. I don't know what they are, but they're waterproof, two-way. There's two up here, and then I have one down in each floorboard, which yeah, they sounded good. I mean, I need some more bass, but you know, when you're driving an Army truck and it's loud already, it doesn't really matter. What else? So Groot sat there the entire time, and he's magneted. Not by much either. Sat on this little magnet thing, and the dude just sat there. It was amazing. He sat there the whole time. I did use, let's see, up there, if you can see, there you go. There's the bars that prop open the front window with this park. So you would put one in on here, and then you flick out the window, disconnect the front windshield or wiper. That worked great. I did that on the last day, and because it was such a beautiful day, and it was good. So then this mount for the phone was perfect. No problems there. Did great. Bounced around a lot, but held up. I didn't use the USB for the GoPro mount this time. Actually, just clipped it on a clip, stuck it on the different places of the vehicle, and it did fine. So anyway, I did use my last day with the window open. I used these goggles, and then I had a mouth, I guess mouth shawl or something like that I got from Itchy Boots. Shout out to Itchy Boots. Itchy Boots, my hat. Yeah, she's awesome. Itchy Boots online. Check her out. Nora Lee. Yeah, but there was like a dust mask that was put over my mouth, so kind of looked like a Mad Max guy going down the road. It was kind of fun, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. So, all right, so front, next great thing was this 1224 volt to you can plug it in, small plug for like motorcycles. I think BMW uses this small plug, but it's 12 and 24 volt capable. It's off Amazon. It also has a voltage regulator, or voltage. It has a turn off switch for one, and two, it tells you how much voltage you get. So let me let's pull the plugs out. And sitting here, I got, it says 25.4 volts. That's good. She's charged. and all good to go. So that worked out well. That definitely. Centerpiece. I even got a duck. Jeep guy gave me a ducky. It's popular in the United States for Jeep people to give people duckies. I got a ducky, and I appreciate duck people. They were out in New York. So here's Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have Arnold. He's Commando from Commando. We got him as a toy a long time ago with the kids, and I've always just kept him around. Umbrella. Didn't have to use it, but I had it. I kept the CB, excuse me, as a plug-in. So I used the plug there to plug the CB in, so I could kind of take it off. There's a original med kit there. Never used it, thank goodness. Did have a med kit there. I'll go on the other side in a minute and tell you about that one. But behind me, I have a Maglite, old school, one LED in there. And here's the hose for the power tank to fill up the tires, which I never did. Then I have bought a bunch of old VW emergency side kits for the cars, and hadn't had to use any of that, but it has all the normal stuff. Some paper towels, always good to have. I'm glad I didn't have to use the fire extinguisher. Thing comes with a reflector in case you broke down the side of the road, and that's where I keep some other stuff there. So let's go back around to the passenger side. Oh, so that's rack still up there. I have to move that around. Anyway, so I don't know what this bracket was, but it's a cool bracket that was always here. This is a medical kit I pulled out when I had Craig fall off the mountain. I had my medical kit, just a generic one, just got band-aids and stuff in it. I left it on my winch cover on the front of the vehicle, and actually drove into town and went to pulled into a restaurant after 30 miles, and it was still sitting on the winch. All the dirt roads and all that, and it made it fine. Huh? Lucky day. It's nice to know. Yeah, like I said, Arnold Commando guy, was just kind of a funny thing having around. Tripod, didn't use it. It was only $5 at Goodwill. But I could put my anything, phone, or pretty much this GoPro on there. Some spare parts. Oh yeah, and some stuff laying around for this thing. Yeah, so here's the emergency vest. It's reflective. I think I had it in one of my vehicles. Don't know where it came from. Fluid block for the jack. Got a little bottle jack down there, and then somebody left a giant breaker bar and pipe for the jack to do the lug nuts. And yeah, and then there's another, it looks like another reflector triangle. There's one for front, one for back. And this is a tool roll. I did use this only for I used a 13mm wrench to tighten down my windows because they were rattling. This side I didn't even open. I didn't even take the window top off except maybe once. Pretty much I just left this window on. The other side I did take off whenever possible when it was getting hot, because it gets hot and you got no airflow. I mean, that's your only airflow. So there's that. I picked this up at camp. Somebody said this stuff lasts like 20 years. You just put water to it, and I thought I would use it, but I didn't even cook at all. Didn't even heat water or anything. I ended up I'll tell you about the coffee situation later, but yeah, I think I'll still keep it around for emergency food. And yeah, seems all right. I mean, mac and cheese, I can't go too wrong. Towel, just kind of laid up there. I got some deep woods off. Didn't have to use it, but it was there in case I needed it. And some pieces, parts that laying around, like the cover from the back light and things like that. But the towel kind of kept everything from bouncing out because things kept hitting the floor and doing that. All right, so here we go. Back door. So that's where I slept. I didn't use this door much except for cooling down. So you can see the stretcher. It's a real stretcher. Mounts here and on this nice strap. And you flip the seat up, like this jump seat over there. You can mount this here. There's a bracket here and here that you can mount a second one. Now I tried to mount this up high and sleep, or just try it out, and there's hardly any room. I could turn over and I think my shoulder hits the ceiling. So it's pretty bad. So I just slept down on this bottom one. I did use this, it's kind of a, I don't know if it's an air mattress thing, just an air pad for like campers. You can, you know, de-vent it and see, oh, fills itself back up. And that worked pretty well for some kind of cushion. Like I say, you got to have as much cushion you can lay and find laying around. I found an old sleeping bag that we've had forever, and it had an extra liner, so I had multiple layers in case I needed it. And also, I just slept on this because it was just cushioning. Yeah. So, and then I've used sleeping bags for years, and I've always had them kind of tight, and it was always hard to turn over. So, you know, we always had to turn over with the bag. My daughter Grace we bought her own sleeping bag, and I got the biggest one around at Walmart of all places, and you could actually, it was so big that you could turn around inside of it, like, so you didn't have to move the whole tent. And she's used it several times, and this time I took it because it was just easier to use, because I didn't know where mine was anyway, and this was just easy. So it's just a normal, like, but 0 degree bag. Oh man, it was hot, by Coleman. No big deal. It was actually super hot most of the time. The funny part is the exhaust is right here, and all the exhaust pipes, and if you're driving all day, everything in this vehicle is hot back here. So when you're ready to go to bed, these windows don't go down. I would just open the doors, and I would keep the front windows cracked, and I would have a fan, which I'll show later, that the fan would blow on you to keep you warm, and I wouldn't even use a cover for many after midnight. Then it would cool off, but and it really was just because the heat of the vehicle was still radiating. So anyway, all right, so I did not need, I brought these guys. I've had them on different things, so they're cheap. I don't know, the treads, I don't know who makes these. Tread traction boards. I did not use them. I still haven't used them. I bought them used for like 70 bucks a pair, that from a guy who never used them either. I keep them. I think they're good to have. There's so many videos on how to use them in case somebody else, if I was near them, they could use them. If I was in a lower, like my bus or smaller vehicle that needed to get over things, it would have been great. But this thing just, you know, 16 inches of clearance. I'm, you know, sorry, just didn't need it. So then I had a little shovel in there for doing your business or whatever shovels do. I did a high lift jack right here, and an orange mount up under there. So I think I would like to use it on the bumpers to lift this thing if I had to do a tire, you're messing with a tire or something. I even have one of these, let's see, adapters for the wheel. You can hook on the wheel and then hook it to your high lift jack. Never used it, and hope I don't have to. But high lifts are good for about everything, and they're very dangerous, but you have to just be extremely cautious using them. It's just a farm jack, but I got the high lift that I had for many years, and yeah, it did all right. I mean, I didn't have to use it, so, but that's something you just bring with you. Would I bring it again? Oh yeah, always. Here's just a box. I think I just got paper towels and things. It was the only thing I had at the time to put as a carrier. Let's see what we have in here. Oh yeah, it's a toilet paper, a brush to, you know, to brush out the vehicle, and some paper towels. Could I put in a better box? Yeah, I might use this box for something better, like something, you know, like tools or something, which will come upon another time. Let's get that out of there. Garbage bags, which were way in here, and I had a hard time finding them. Then one day I found them. And there they are. The other thing I had buried in here next to the heater. This is like a little radiator with a fan for this car. Little stove. It's a Featherlight little stove I had for years. It was almost new at a junk star, and it works great. It runs on gasoline or Coleman fuel. I use Coleman fuel just because I have it, which I'll show you later. yeah, so that was, yeah, didn't use it. I was going to use it for coffee, but then I bought instant coffee. Then I was going to use the boiled water to heat the packet of food, and I didn't either because this place where we went, it was a restaurant almost around every turn. We always went into a town, and towns just have better food most of the time. So, all right, this will be part 1 on this, and because we're at 20 minutes, part 2 coming up.